Hello and welcome, and this is part 2 of our series to make this beautiful building right here. And in the previous part we did some modeling where we created this window and this pillar. This is part 2, means we're going to be texturing this and this window and this pillar. So yeah, it's I'm gonna show you two ways, two things particularly that will ease your effort by uh miles. They're really gonna I'm gonna show you how you can never pick up a graphic tablet and just automatically let Blender texture these crevices and edges that you see right here. Or ideally you would do that with a mouse or a graphic tablet, but yeah, we are not gonna do that. Also you can see that it has some really ruptures and things, and I'm gonna show you today how you can make another texture pop out of another texture's normal map, which means that if you see this plane right here, you will see that it has some grunge coming out of it, and it looks really natural because the base layer, which was this a cement material, has moss texture coming out of it, and it interacts with the cement's normal map to make it look like it's really settled there and coming out of it. So great things to do today, so let's get started. And I'm gonna open a Blender. Oh, there's two. Good start. Yeah. This is where we left off. So this is what we're gonna be making. Essentially this is a mask, and you can see that it has highlighted all of my uh, places where there should be dirt and other imperfection materials. Like here you can see it has some nice grunge. I can make some nice grunge over here, and I can make some dust, really intense dust here. And that's all automatic, and I'm gonna show you where to do that. So I'm just gonna delete this. Alright, and alright, we modeled these things in the previous tutorial, and we're gonna go ahead. Okay, so first things first, a bit of heads up. I will be using an add-on called TextTools right here. Okay, so it's free, don't worry about it. It's really free, and if you go, you can find it easily on Google. And once you download its zip file, you can just go into preferences, go into install, and just locate wherever you have your file, and select that zip file. You don't have to unzip it, and install add-on, and it will show you something like this TextTools, and just enable it, and you will see this little panel on your UV editor, and it will create this map, and I'm going to show you how. So this is my model, and first you have to UV unwrap it, so it becomes something like this. And don't worry, it's not a very complicated process. It's just one click, which is U, and then go to UV Smart Project and hit OK, and it will unwrap your entire model, no matter how complicated it is to be in this 1x1 space. So that's good, right? Now go to the text tools, and go under baking, and you will see a whole lot of settings, and here you can select what type of map that you want to bake, and this has a whole bunch of it. You can see already that it has some exciting maps for you: cavity maps, curvature maps, even dust maps. So that can be used in a great variety of textures, and that's how you can never have to manually texture again. I'm gonna use AO Legacy for this one, and I'm gonna use a 2K map. This is anti-aliasing, so I'm gonna set it at none because my size is pretty high, so I don't need that. Samples, if the higher the samples, the greater, you know, the better your uh, texture will come out to be. So I set it to 128 for the sake of this tutorial. I'm gonna set it to 64, and that's it. That's it, guys. Just hit bake, and there you go. You have this model that's unwrapped, and I had padding set at 8, so I don't know, that might be good, but that might also be bad. If you set it to 0, then you will have no undesirable advantages or disadvantages. We have done that, and now if I just you have to save this image, and I'll show you one problem that it will have, okay, which is if you just go to your shader editor and import that image, where is, yes, here, and if you see that it has done a really good job, right? You can always intensify these effects by with a curl ramp, but the thing that I want to show you is if I remove this pillar, you can see that it did something right here. It did this because there was this pillar right here, and hence, because it's an ambient occlusion map, it baked darkness over here that was caused by this pillar. So you might think that you don't want that, but actually you do. Alright, because your scene is going to be affected by everything that's around it, so you might as well build your textures that affect with its surroundings. So I'm just gonna duplicate this one, and I'm also gonna add a plane which will act as my building, and I'm gonna place it right here. Alright, we are gonna make a really nice map with this setup. Okay, there we go. And yeah, just now we have to bake this the final time. I'm gonna use 1K image so that it bakes faster. Okay, we have our final map, and I'm gonna save it here. Sorry, I'm gonna just save it again with 0 compression. Okay, now I will go into the shader editor, and first I will set up its materials, different materials that it will have. So first things first, this window frame I'm gonna separate by hitting this plus button, and I'm gonna assign it over on this material slot. And now I'm gonna select this entire frame, our frame, and once you select that, just because this frame, the outer frame is going to have a different material, and the inner frame is going to have a different material. Okay, like this and this, and I think we got this, forgot this one, yes, this just selecting all those that I think will go together. Okay, just oh it will be faster if we loop select all of them by shift and alt clicking, like that and like that. Okay, so that's a different material, so I'm just gonna assign it here. All right, finally. Okay, now I'm gonna import some textures from bridge. You can use any, you can go to CG textures and get a concrete, um, couple of concrete textures, couple of, you know, wood painted wood textures. There we go. And same for this one, rough concrete. I'm gonna apply the scale and then hit U and unwrap it with a cube projection, and it will be fine. Same with this one. Okay, now we have textured it, and now for the magic to happen, go to this shader editor, and I also need one grunge texture, so you might want to get that as well. Alright, we have our grunge texture, and I'm just gonna mossy crown. Alright, okay, so we have all of our textures loaded in, and I have applied it on all of these individual faces that we wanted. Like and these faces have their own separate textures, which is a painted wood, and this one has its own one, and we have a glass. I will change it to glass. Okay, so for now our main target is this rough concrete. Okay, now I'm going to import that image that we just created using TextTools, which is this one, and you can see that it did well for our window, not so much for this because we haven't done anything for that, right? So we're just gonna ignore that. Okay, so what our pillars did, they had an effect on our texture. Okay, so I'm just gonna, firstly I'm gonna invert this textures, because we want where the white is, we want to be grunge, and white is everywhere, and black is where we wanted the original textures, which is on the edges and the crevices. So that if we invert it, then that's what we want. It's still not what we want. We have to use a color ramp. Okay, I'm gonna intensify the blacks, and there you go. You can already see it shaping out to be the mask that we wanted for our grunge and imperfections. Okay, that looks good. Alright, now this is our original textures. Okay, So we are going to use this mossy ground texture. Okay, and the way we're going to do that is just copy everything and paste it here. So I've copied and pasted this mossy ground from here to here, and now we're gonna add our image, and I'm gonna add a mix shader, and plug that in. Okay, now if you do a factor comparison, then you will see what it's doing. Okay, okay, so what we want our mask to do would happen if we plug our mask into the factor input, and you can see that it already has an effect, not a strong effect, but still intensify the color ramp a bit. Okay, just intensify the blacks and intensify the whites, and just set them and take them to wherever you want. I think this looks good. Let's see. Alright, looking good, guys. This looks really dope, right? You know, dust settled in here and here and all of the places that you would expect it to be. Okay, here, and it's revealing itself here, and that's what we wanted, right? That's good. The really nice effect here, which will really pop out in your renders. All right, so yay, that's a good one. All right, now we just need to do this on all of our textures, and just similarly how we did this, you might need other textures for as imperfections for other materials. For example, this one is a wood texture, so you might want wood imperfections, but the process is same. You will use the same image and the same color ramp, I think, yes, for those imperfections, and when you're done you will have some great looking asset. And we will do the same for this one. I will not show you how to do that, because if I show you how to do that, then I would really question your intelligence, because I have already showed you how to do that on one texture, and it spooks out really great results. The other thing is that we want to, since it's looking pretty good, I'm also going to show you a way that that will make it pop out from the normal map of this texture. Alright, so it will look like that it's settled into the grunges that are present in the normal map on and not in the model itself. So so the thing that only, and it's only a trick really, so which is, if you take a look at the normal map of the original base texture, you will find something like this, right? And I want to just take it and convert it into a black and white mask, so I can multiply it with our original mask, right? So I'm gonna add a separate RGB node, and I'm just gonna hook that right here, and I want not the red, not the green, but the blue channel. Okay, and I'm gonna intensify it with a color ramp. Okay, and there's what we want. Yeah, almost right at the end. All right, so that's what you want. As you can see, it's really harsh, but we will be multiplying it with that. So with in the original multiply node, we will just add this one. All right, and look at that, And the thing is that you can really set up how much you want this to be affected, right? And you can also change the color ramp, and it will still affect the normals of this original base texture. And so what you will have is something that looks like this. And yeah, and I think I might just take it easy on the normals, but that's how you do that. And that these two things that I showed you are the reasons that people pay a lot of money for Substance Painter, and the reason why Quixel Mixer is so good. So that's how you do it. Just do that on all of your textures. That's kind of your homework if you're really willing to make this scene. And do the same thing for this one's actually easier, but I showed you in this one, and it will give you some really nice looking results. Right. That's probably the end of my English now, and I'll see you in the next part where we will assemble our scene and do some really nice lighting. Alright, so thank you for watching, and hope you have a fantastic day, and bye bye.